Chamai, Kuyana Teluji, hello, and thank you all for coming. Welcome to another episode of King's Corner. Say hello, everybody. Chamai. Well, we've got a great let me start over. We have a great show in store for you today. We got special guests, we got Alutiiq language, we got current events, and it's all coming to you live from the native village of Port Lions. Shout out to the tribe for hosting, and the school and the teachers, and Peggy Azuyak in Kodiak there, and also Eva Gregg from Rural Cap, who helped make this possible. So we thank you to those folks, and welcome to another episode of King's Corner. We have another very special guest today, and we will jump right in. I want to introduce to you all Mr. Ken Stockard. Hey, Ken, how are you? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Great. Well, it's a pleasure to have you. We thank you for taking the time to meet with us and to share a little bit about yourself. So unless you had anybody you wanted to plug or anything, we can jump right in.
No, thank you very much. I'm just happy to be here, Jess.
Awesome. Great. Well, let me take myself off there so we can get the stars of the show where they belong. And let me take off this banner.
Long time no see, guys.
There we go. Okay, so we have a series of questions for Mr. Stockard, and we will start off with who has the first question. Go ahead, Titus. And don't forget, guys, the mic. Make sure you make the mic as close as you can. There you go. Good job.
The first question is, where were you born?
Good question, Ty. A lot of people with my background in Montana assume that I was actually born there, but I was actually born in Wasilla, Alaska, in the Mat-Su Valley, way back in 1995.
Nice. That's cool. I didn't know that. We appreciate that. Excellent question. Thank you, Titus. Who's got question 2?
I got question 2.
Okay, Sean. What's your question, Sean?
Where did you grow up?
So that's an interesting one. Like I just said, I was born in the Valley, but I moved when I was 11. So I spent my primary years in Alaska, but my junior high, high school, and college years I spent in Montana. So a lot of my memories as like a kid are in Montana. So I kind of think of it as I grew up almost kind of a Montana kid more than an Alaska one.
For sure. The formative years, right?
Exactly.
Right. Good deal. Okay. Good question, Sean. Who's got question 3? All right, Aurora.
Can you tell us about your parents and how you grew up?
Great question, Aurora. So this is one of my favorite things of all time to brag about is my old man. My dad, Keith Stockard, was kind of a pillar in education all throughout Alaska. He taught for over 20 years. And my upbringing was just him and I since I was 9 months old. My mom and him got a divorce, and he got full physical and legal custody. So it was basically like I just had an older brother, and we went and traveled the world together. I think we'll get into that more, so I don't want to be redundant by talking about too much yet. Yeah, my upbringing and my growing up with my dad was definitely different than most people's kind of childhood years. Like, for instance, we'll get to this later, but my first hunt ever, my dad asked me if I wanted to fly or drive to get there, and it was from Alaska to Texas. So for him to give me the option to kind of decide that, a huge part of the trip, it wasn't really a father-son. It was more like big brother, little brother growing up.
Oh, wow. That's neat. That's pretty cool. A good question there, Aurora. Thank you. Who's got question? What are we on? 4 or 5? 5. Okay. Go ahead, Lydia.
We know you hunt. When
4.
did you start hunting, and who taught you?
Oh, perfect. So, of course, like I just talked about, my dad taught me everything I know about the outdoors. From day one, that's pretty much where we were. He was a single parent. So if he wanted to go fishing or he wanted to go hunting and he couldn't find a sitter, I was going with. And so my first caribou hunt, I have pictures. I was 6 months old. I'm in a car seat strapped in the back of a 4-wheeler. And I have fishing pictures and looks like I can barely open my eyes. I'm like a couple months old, and my dad was already
Wow.
taking me. So
Dang.
yeah, I started off really, really early. My first actual big game hunt was when I was 6. So
Wow.
started very early in the outdoors.
Nice. Yeah, that is an early start for sure. Good question, Lydia. Okay, who's got number 5?
I do.
Dahlia. Okay, Dahlia.
What are some of the animals that you've hunted?
Oh man. So like I said, my dad and I traveled a lot. We traveled to New Zealand together and hunted red
Wow.
stags and whatnot.
Wow.
We did South Africa when I was 12. That was actually because he quit chewing. He promised me when I was 7 years old, when he quit chewing, we'd go to Africa, and he quit. So we went. He
Wow.
always used to say, a man's only as good as his word. And then I just did Argentina back in 2022. And we did red stag and water buffalo and stuff. And then I've hunted 26 states in the lower 48, everything from Shiras moose to bears to turkeys, coyotes, wolves,
Wow.
waterfowl. It's pretty much all I do. I'm a collector. So our house in Montana, just my dad and I, there's over 300 taxidermy mounts. I've showed the kids some pictures and videos before. It's craziness. We always used to joke it surpassed a hobby a long time ago. It's more of an obsession.
Sure. No, that's neat that that you mentioned the red stag, and I wasn't aware of that. That's sort of like a mythical creature that you just hear about people being able to hunt it. It's pretty neat. So that's pretty cool. And then
I
go
need to
ahead.
jump in quick, Jess. So the fact that you said it's a mythical creature, I got to throw this tidbit in there. I actually discovered that red stag and water buffalo were able to be hunted in the same country because of a video game. That a
Wow.
buddy of mine and I actually play quite a bit. He lives in Montana still, and we play quite a bit, keep in touch. And he one time jokingly was like, wouldn't it be cool if this was a real place? It's like, this is, man. This is Argentina, I'm pretty sure. And then 2
Right.
years later, he's the one that went with me. Vicente and I both went down and hunted together. Kind of
Wow.
guys.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
so cool. And another thing that Mr. S mentioned that I wanted to piggyback off of was he mentioned his dad said you're only as good as your word, and I think that's an important thing for us all to remember is that tenet, that belief that when you say something to somebody and you say you're going to do something, you should do it. And so it's a good lesson. So and it's still continuing on as Mr. S has told us about his father. That lesson is still being taught right now. So very cool. Very cool. Sorry to interrupt. Okay. Question 6, Jess.
I have, yeah, okay. So, other than hunting, what are some of your other hobbies?
Ooh, good one. So other than hunting, most of my stuff is still kind of outdoors based. Other than, like I mentioned before, I actually play some video games here and there. I've talked to you guys before about every once in a while, play some Fortnite, play some Rocket League, play some hunting games. But most of the time I'm outdoors, either taking photos, hunting, fishing, golfing. Actually, I love to golf. And then for those viewers that don't know, Miss Deming is my fiance and the head teacher at the school. So if I mention Miss Deming, that's what I'm talking about. Miss Deming and I also snowboard a lot when we were in Montana. We'd go almost every single weekend.
Oh, wow. That's neat.
Yeah.
Good deal. Cool. Okay, that is our first round of questions. Thank you guys for coming up with those. Very good. And so from this point, we'll each ask our question number 2, okay? And we can start with Dahlia, if you'd like.
What's it like teaching multiple subjects?
Great question. I know I keep saying that after each one, but it gives me a second to think. No, teaching multiple subjects is definitely a challenge, but I think that if I taught only one subject, I would get not bored, but it would not be as entertaining. The fact that I get to teach math, science, and PE, math is way more serious, and then PE is obviously on the other side of that spectrum of kind of being able to have less structure. And then science, we kind of find a middle ground. Sometimes we're down doing beach cleanup. Sometimes we're presenting PowerPoints. So just having the variance is really appreciated since I already don't have to teach the same thing each year over and over and over again. My ADHD appreciates being able to always do different things and jump around. So I actually really
That's
enjoy
cool.
different
A
subjects.
dynamic environment, right? That's cool. Very cool. Okay, Sean, what's your second question?
When did you become a teacher?
We can't hear you, brother.
When did you become a teacher?
Ooh, there you go.
Okay, this is going to be a weird answer. So there's the clear cut. I became a teacher in 2023. I taught last year, and then this is my second year teaching. But I'm 29 years old, which might strike people as kind of late to get into teaching. You're doing the math, and you're like 18 years old plus 4 years of college means you should have been 22. But for my trajectory, my dad passed away when I was a freshman in college in a car accident. So it kind of restructured how I was going to go about college. I wasn't able to afford college on my own at the time. So I kind of panicked, and I actually took a job commercial fishing that summer and ground through it and everything. And it made it so that whenever I got paid, I didn't get paid my first year until November. So I wasn't able to enroll in college my sophomore year, fall semester. And it ended up being a happy accident. So what I ended up doing was I would only go to school during the spring semester. And then the summer I would fish, make money. And then fall, I would use that time to travel and just fulfill my love for the outdoors. So I'd hunt and fish. And people from all over the country come hunting with me in Montana, or I'd go traveling with them. So yeah, it took me almost a decade to actually get my teaching degree, but I graduated with absolutely no debt. More minors than I probably know what to do with. I got one in political science. I got one in math. But yeah, I really enjoyed the college experience, and I didn't want to just jam it all into 4 years and blast through it. I feel like everybody has their own way of doing things, and this worked really well for me. It was a little unorthodox, but put me where I am now. And I feel like because I have more life experience to share with the students, it makes me a better, well-rounded mentor and educator.
For sure. No, that's neat. And that's a unique thing that Mr. S is talking about here. And that's pretty cool, actually, a pretty cool schedule to be able to break it up like that and the way you did. That's pretty neat. Pretty cool. Okay, Aurora, what's your second question?
Could you describe the challenges of teaching a wide range of ages simultaneously?
Very good.
Nice work. That was a big word, simultaneously. Good work, Laura. So we got, that's always a question that I get asked. And I bet the answer would actually shock most. Most people think that it's the engagement across grade levels, like making sure it's entertaining for the 5th graders and the 12th graders. But I actually don't really struggle with that in the subjects I have. Math, either you love it or you don't. And then science, it's marine science. So I can basically make it entertaining for everybody. And then, oh my gosh, my buddy Anthony just commented on there. What's up, Ant? That totally just made me lose my train of thought.
That's right. I'll put that back up for you.
The guy that's commenting on there, that's my best friend from Montana that I've talked about a lot with students, actually.
Very
back
cool.
to my first question, the difficult part is different siblings being in the same classroom. It's not actually keeping engagement. It's making sure that there's healthy competition between siblings. And sometimes they do a great job at that. And other times I have to be like, hey guys, take it easy on each other, lift each other up. Or sometimes almost too nice to each other. They're not pushing each other enough because they are siblings and they might let some of them slide at home on certain things. So keeping the separation between classmates and siblings sometimes is difficult. They get a little handsy, rough with each other. Put her down, put him down. So stuff like that is actually the biggest challenge, would be having siblings in class.
That's great. Great question. Great answer. That's entertaining for sure. Awesome. Okay, Titus, what's your second one?
What other jobs have you done apart from teaching?
So I'll just start at the beginning, I guess. My buddy Anthony, that just popped up on there, we used to mow yards together all the way from 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And then 9th grade summer, I landed a job at a mechanic shop. I worked there for 2 years. And as soon as I could get away from that, I did, because there was no air conditioning. And my first day of work, the boss told me I wasn't worth what he was paying me, which was $7.40 an hour, which was minimum wage.
Wow.
and to never ask for a raise. So I was kind of looking for new employment day one there, but I actually worked there for almost 2 full summers, and then started working at a grocery store all the way up through college. And then I had to do something once my dad passed away to get more of an income to save his house in Montana and pay property taxes and deal with his medical bills and stuff like that from his passing. So I had to go kind of roll the dice and went Bristol Bay route. And I've been gill netting now for 10 years. This will be year 11 with the same crew, same captain. Actually, my buddy Vicente that I mentioned earlier that we went to Argentina, this is his 4th or 5th year with me now. And then same skipper since day one. And I would say, to answer the second part of that question, I think that would be my favorite other than teaching. I do enjoy going out there. It's like big boy summer camp. Go out there and do with the guys and catch a bunch of fish.
Right, for sure. Yeah, good question. All right, Lydia, what was your second one?
Why did you choose to come to Fort Myers?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Why did you choose to come to Port Lions?
That's a really fun question. So my senior year, my dad and I speculated on where we wanted to do for a senior trip. I'm sure, Jess, you might be talking about that with little Jess a little bit, but we went on, we actually ended up doing something different, but our original, what we wanted to do was a Kodiak deer hunt. We ended up, I bet you guys could guess why we weren't able to go. Weather. So we got weathered out and weren't able to go. So I've always had this kind of chip on my shoulder that I've always wanted to get back up here. And I met a guy leaving for commercial fishing one time out of King Salmon, Alaska, and he invited me to go goat hunting with him in Kodiak. So I was like, sure, man. So that fall, I came back and I filmed his goat hunt. You can actually find that on YouTube. I filmed his goat hunt and I shot a really nice 3x3 with eye guards and just fell in love with the island. Fell in love with the people, the food, everything. And so after I met Miss Deming, I knew I had to bring her up and hopefully, I always joke, brainwash her a little bit and get her at least to see what it's like, see that it's not nearly as remote as she might have thought or whatnot. And it worked. She fell in love. And our first hunt, we didn't make it to the cabin we were supposed to stay in. We ended up camping in a tent on the side of Kazuyak Bay, actually right across from where we live now. We can actually look out our front window and see where we camped that trip. But we'll keep moving on. So fast forward 2 more years. And actually just a year, I'm in Argentina and Shayla put in an application to Kodiak Island Borough School District, and to see if there were teaching positions. And there were 2 rural positions. And like I said, I was in Argentina during all of this, during her interview. She literally got the job and I was in another country. And the same day I shot my red stag, she called me, let me tell my whole story about the red stag, and then goes, by the way, I think I got us jobs on Kodiak. I was like, you let me tell my whole story and you didn't lead with that? I'm like, what? So, that was a pretty epic day. Got my first red stag with my bow ever, and then also landed his and hers teaching positions in Port Lions. And we didn't really know what we were getting into. We had never seen it. We got here 3 days before school started and pretty much got the school in running condition as best we could and hit the ground running. We didn't even have our clothes. We're still being shipped up in a barge in our car. We didn't have shoes because we require indoor shoes here. So we were running around in socks for about 10 days and the same pair of clothes for, I think we had like 3 or 4 pairs of clothes for about 10 days. But yeah, it was a little rocky start, but I wouldn't have changed it for the world. It was such a cool experience coming up here and starting teaching.
Awesome. Sounds like an adventure.
Yeah, fully.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Great question, Lydia. Okay, Jess.
So, what are the challenges of teaching? What are some of its joys?
So I alluded to some of the challenges of like teaching multi-grade or multi-subject, but the challenges that come along with teaching other than that would kind of be more intrinsic. So like what I feel. And I think that the most challenging thing for me is whenever students don't understand a topic or something that I've presented to you guys, if you're you're not responding whenever I give an assessment, sort of like see what you know, if you're not remembering this stuff, I automatically think it's my fault. I automatically think, okay, I did something wrong. There's a reason that they're not getting this. But sometimes it just takes some repetition. It takes more than just one introduction. But I'm really hard on myself a lot of times. And on the second day when somebody's not getting, I'm like, what's going on? We just talked about this. And I'm sure the kids are rolling their eyes at me. They're like, yeah, you do that all the time, Mr. S. I'm like, we just talked about this yesterday. What did I do wrong? Did I not go over it enough? Did I present it in a way that created misconceptions? So I think that's the hardest part I struggle with is kind of keeping my sanity in that I am doing the right thing. It just takes more time than I want it to. And then the biggest joy is whenever you guys do get it. Whenever I see those light bulbs go on. I know that's kind of cliche, but that click moment, whenever somebody goes, oh, now I see, now I get it. Those moments, that's why I teach, is to see that. It's almost like a doorway just got open and the knowledge now can flow in. And to see that unlocking is, that's the magic of teaching.
Very cool. And he also brought up another good point about repetition. That is very key in so many areas to sort of beating it into our brains and locking it in there is repetition. So yeah, that's a good one. Thank you, Mr. S. Okay, Dahlia, what's your third question?
What has been your favorite year of life so far?
Oh, so that's a tough one. I'm dancing between two. So either my freshman year of college, because I didn't know what the real world was yet. I was still living in Fairyland. My dad was still with me. He was still around. So my freshman year, I always joke I had the silver spoon as a suppository. I was definitely living large. I had an awesome experience in college. I was living in the dorms. The two people that I went from my high school with, my two buddies, they were still in college. They hadn't dropped out yet. So it was like everything was going to plan. I hadn't experienced the catastrophes that real life brings a lot of times. So maybe that one would be my favorite just because it was like, I don't know, fantasy year almost. I also drew a tag for a Shiras moose that year, which is like a 1% chance of getting drawn. And I drew one. And then on top of that, I shot the biggest moose that had been killed in that area in like years. So on top of it, like lucked out, it just felt like everything was lining up, and then everything came crashing down that next March. My dad passed away. So either that one, or I would say last year, my first year here was incredible. All the things that I accomplished and thought I couldn't do, and just surpassed my own expectations. So yeah, last year was incredible. I mean, I proposed to Miss Deming. We got 2 really nice bucks a piece last year. Got to experience just so much amazing just life in Port Lions. So it's hard for me to kind of choose. One of them is making the most of myself, and the other one was just kind of living in dream world still, almost like the last year of being a child kind of.
For sure. No, that's a good one. Great question there, Dahlia. All right, Sean, what's your third question?
How did you get into archery?
So a lot of people might assume that because of my dad got me into hunting and everything and taught me everything I know about hunting, he actually did not teach me a thing about archery. I actually introduced him to archery because, loosely he introduced me, I guess. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been in it. We used to go to all the banquets, Mule Deer Foundation, Elk Foundation, Safari Club International, Ducks Unlimited, and one of them was Alaska Bow Hunters. So we went to it and just participating in the camaraderie and everything. And one of the deals was they were giving away little black recurve bows to all the youth that were there. And they were being presented by the one and only Uncle Ted Nugent. So I got my first little recurve bow from Ted Nugent. It's signed called a Lil Brave. It's a little black recurve with orange writing on it. But it was signed by Ted Nugent. And I used to sit out my yard and just shoot milk jugs, like empty milk cartons, over and over and over again. And with everything that I showed an interest in, my dad was always amazing at providing me with the tools and the time to kind of blossom those interests. So he basically just dumped gasoline on the fire if I showed an interest in something. So it turned into a newer compound bow. And then just kept working into it. And then he actually enrolled me in a league. So I used to shoot leagues with Fletcher's Archery out of the valley in Alaska there. And then, yeah, went on to shoot in tournaments and all kinds of stuff. But that was kind of the start of it.
That's cool. Very cool. All right. Thank you for that, Sean. Aurora, what's your third question?
Congratulations on your engagement to Miss Deming. Could you tell us about your first dates together?
You know where the origin of that question's coming from, Ken.
Oh yeah. So we've talked a little bit about it with the kids. We've shared our experiences. We have a very unorthodox relationship, at least the start of it, especially. So our first date was during COVID. And Miss Deming already talked about this, so I won't go through the whole thing. But my favorite part about it was the fact that I drug her over to my archery shop and that I was sponsored by at the time, and actually got her to shoot a bow. She even hit her arm and had a big old bruise for like 2 weeks. But right afterwards, she literally looked at me and verbatim, quote unquote, she said, "I think I'm addicted." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." So I knew I had her hooked right off the bat with archery. And now she's quite the acclaimed bow hunter. She's gone all over. She's even harvested deer here and everything. She's an animal. But our second date might have been even more insane. So like I talked about before, a man's only as good as his word, and I messed up. Jess. I promised 2 people something, and I didn't think I could keep both promises. I had told Miss Deming that I would go on a date with her that Friday. I also told my buddy Cody Ottman that I would go shed hunting in Jackson Hole if they lifted the COVID travel ban in Wyoming. Turns out that's the same day, and they happened to lift the travel ban, which I didn't think they were going to do. So I was like, how can I make this work? Well, what if we did the date as shed hunting? So I called Ms. Deming and I said, what do you think about me picking you up in about 4 hours? Keep in mind, it was about 9 o'clock, so I was going to be picking up about 1 a.m. I go, what do you think about me picking you up at about 1 a.m. and us driving 9 hours to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and walking around in snow looking for elk antlers? And she said, sure, I'd love to. And I said, I don't know why, but I'll see you in 4 hours. So I threw everything in the truck, and we drove all the way to Jackson Hole. I don't know if you guys who's ever been to Jackson Hole, if anybody has, but there's a super steep hill coming in, and I was driving a little crappy manual Mazda truck, and I about burnt the clutch and the brakes out of that thing coming down that hill. During the shed hunt, we walked like over 12 miles. Miss Deming was right on my heels every single second that I turned around. Come to find out, she knew that I was kind of testing her, but she did an amazing job. She was right there the whole time, and she wouldn't let me buy her boots before we went. She didn't have good hiking boots. So being stubborn as I am, I said, okay, then nobody's using the boots. So we left the $500 boots in the truck, and both of us hiked around in the snow without shoes on. We didn't eat all day. And then when we got back, I was like, I didn't feed her. I'm a little 80 monster commercial fisherman. I don't need to eat. But I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I thinking? This is horrible. So I'm like, you want to go get some food? She was like, I guess I am hungry. I'm like, oh, we're going to go far. I'm like, this is, I'm like, she is just like me. And yeah, if the first date didn't solidify it, the second one definitely did.
Very cool. Sounds like a good sport to me.
Yeah, very.
Very cool. All right. That was you, right, Aurora? You asked that one? Yeah. Okay, Titus, go ahead.
You are the archery and wrestling coach. Do you enjoy coaching the 2 sports?
I love coaching both sports. They're so different that it doesn't seem repetitive at all, even if they are in the same week. Like earlier this year, I had Mondays was wrestling, archery was on Tuesdays, Wednesdays I had teacher meetings, PD, professional development, and then Thursday I had archery, and then Friday I had wrestling. So my week was booked, but they're so different. Archery is almost more like a meditation Zen moment for me. I go home feeling like super relaxed and really calm. Whereas as the wrestlers know, if they were in their last earlier this year, I am a little bit more intense in wrestling, and I leave wrestling buzzing and vibrating whenever I'm done. And I'm like grabbing Miss Deming at the end when we're done. And yeah, I'm a lot more energetic at the end of wrestling. But I love them both. They both have a special place in my heart from however I started in them. Actually, I am going to throw up a little blip in there. The kid that popped up and said, "Hey, that's Henry." The reason he calls me Henry was, yeah, right there. That's my boy Henry. So the reason he calls me that is because our wrestling coach, Mr. Crab, wrote our name sloppily whenever they put us in the newspaper, and he didn't write Kenny neatly. And it looked like Henry. The K looked like an H, and one of the N's R. So that's why Anthony calls me Henry. So
that's
wrestling,
funny.
I love wrestling. It deep rooted for me. I wrestled in college and stuff. And then of course archery, like I talked about, I've been doing that since I was like 4. So being able to share both with the students has just been incredible.
Wow, that's cool. Very cool. Thank you. All right, Lydia, what's your question? Will we help her, Jess?
Would you mind talking about some of your accomplishments? Accomplishments.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like I mentioned before, archery, probably my most, at least in my brain, my biggest thing is I've won 7 state archery championships. Technically 6. I've won Montana twice. I doubled out. But yeah, I've won 6 different states. 7 times I've won state in archery. I've gone skydiving, bull riding, not 8 seconds. I was only like 4.5. My little hometown rodeo, but it was PBR level bulls. So that was cool, pretty cool. When I graduated college, I had no debt. I feel like that's an accomplishment.
That's huge.
I'm a homeowner. I own my house in Montana. I had to fight tooth and nail to my family. After my dad passed, tried to come after everything. So being a homeowner and without any assistance is quite the accomplishment, I think.
Absolutely.
2 other ones real quick. I kind of had a list on these ones so that I could reference. I've commercial fished for 10 years, like I said earlier. And then probably the only other one that I need to mention is my dad would be upset if I didn't. When we moved from Alaska, I was 11 years old, and my dad was just tired of, he always joked, he was tired of the bugs, but really he was tired of having to hunt so hard for one animal. In the lower 48, it's a little bit more cushy. You can go and sit in a field and shoot a deer.
Right.
But we had been training for a sheep hunt that I drew a tag for, and we were going to do McKinley, well, Denali now. But we ended up coming back up, and we did do McKinley, but we did not do the sheep hunt, unfortunately. But I will forever be one of the youngest to ever summit McKinley because it's no longer McKinley. I was 13 whenever I climbed Denali with my old man. And I didn't do it with a guide because my dad, he summited 5 of the 7 tallest peaks in the world, like the big 7.
Sure.
The other 2 he didn't do was Asia, which is Everest, and that's because it costs like $40,000. And then Antarctica because it's only a 6,000 foot peak. It's nothing. So he didn't really he didn't really have any interest. But he did Kilimanjaro twice. One time without a guide. He had done Denali. Oh my God, I don't even know how many times. He actually was my guide on that. So technically, in the write-up, I soloed it because I was with a guide.
Right.
Guide. But
That's
pretty cool,
cool.
little tidbit. But I'm afraid of heights, and I will never go mountain climbing again. In case that is a question, we'll just answer that one now.
Right on. Excellent stuff. Okay, and then we have one more question, and this is a fun, interesting one, Jess.
So, last question we have for you is, so you've taught us about swing dancing, and I think we'd just like to know where you learned that.
That's a good question, Jess. The college that I went to is University of Montana Western down in Dillon, Montana, kind of southwest Montana. And even in the name, University of Montana Western. And we go by Western. All the people around there do the whole Western W. We have an equestrian program, which is like a horse program. Like you can take natural horsemanship as a degree at our college. Wow. So it's very country. We have irrigation ditches running through town to do the fields and everything. A bunch of there's a rodeo team. There's a rodeo team at our college. That doesn't tell you. So the one main, I guess you could call it a bar, but it's more of like a dance floor because they let in 18 and older. It's not just for 21-year-olds, and they have like a big country dance floor. It's called the Metlin, and so that's actually where I learned to swing dance. And if you don't know how to swing dance in Dillon, you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs on the sidelines a lot of the time at different events. So learning how to swing dance, I'm a pretty athletic person, but I just kind of made it a vendetta to kind of pick the brains of some of the people that I noticed were really good at dancing. And and now I'm able to share it with them, and hopefully we'll get them whipped into shape before prom.
That's cool. That's very cool. And that's a nice. There's a little tidbit in there too, about learning by watching. Remember, we talked about the different ways of learning, and one of them is watching and observing. And so that's a good little tip there.
I saw somebody threw up a question popped up that said, "How do how do I celebrate my accomplishments?" I love that. So I've actually told the kids about this, and it's so weird. I always do the same thing after I've accomplished something massive. I buy really, really expensive lemonade. I know that's weird, but that's how I celebrate. I'm not a drinker. Drank a little bit in college and stuff, but I'm not. I've never even brought beer to the villages. I don't even drink beer. So I always have super tart, like unbelievably tart, not country time, like some expensive Santa Cruz or something like that lemonade, and that's what I enjoy as a celebratory little deal once I've accomplished something major.
That's cool. Right on. Excellent. Well, let me jump back in here with you guys. Well, so thank you very much, Ken. We really appreciate you taking some time. And I know that the community and our viewers appreciate getting to know you a little better. Pretty cool stories. I'm sure you'll have folks walking up to you asking questions about all your exploits there. So thank you again for taking the time. We appreciate it. And wouldn't everybody say thank you?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thanks again. And look forward to seeing you again here. And have a great day. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. Have a good one, guys.
Awesome. Excellent. Let me make sure our layout is correct. Okay. So great interview, guys. Great questions. It was good to get to know Mr. Stockard there a little bit better. And I know the community will appreciate it too. So why don't we move on to our next segment, which is Elutic. And I guess we can start with Jess. What are you talking about today in Elutic?
So I am doing some Elutic phrases.
Okay. Let me try and get that up for you. Okay.
So starting Shemai is hello. After that is Cheshchun Etchit, which is how are you?
Mm-hmm.
Ashetu Tinka. That's kind of a hard one.
Yeah. That number for the folks at home and for the students here, that R is the sound, like you have something caught on your tongue or in the back of your throat. There,
right.
It's Ajich Tudinka. Very
which
good.
is are you good? Ajitwa
Very good.
is I am good.
Ajitwa. Yep. Adahwa. Well done. Okay, and some of these are emotions that I saved. I didn't put them on your paper,
okay.
but how would we say this one?
It's a tough one. Shitwa.
Adahwa ajitwa, which
I
is
am bad.
right. Very good.
Not well.
Okay. Next one.
Shilutwa.
Shiluch.
Luch. I forget that H every time.
You're right. Yep.
I am happy.
Shiluchtwa. Yep. I am happy.
Imashtwa. Imaha.
Imashuchtwa.
Imashutwa.
Imashuchtwa.
Which is I am sad.
Adahwa.
Kihachtwa. Or twa.
It's okay. That's why we have the pronunciations here. You're doing fine. Go ahead.
Kumah.
Kum. Yep, very good. Kum dwa.
Kumthwa.
Kum dwa.
Which
Very
is,
good.
I am mad.
Right. Okay.
Alingwa.
Adahwa alingwa.
I am scared.
Right. Okay. Now the ones are back
was-
on there.
I was actually practicing this one the other day. It was which is yes. Konga is no.
Kanga.
Aya, which is
Aya.
Aya.
Sure. No, you're doing good.
Oh my, or ow.
Right. Dahwa aya.
Abba.
Abba.
Abba. Hot.
Very good.
Kuyana. Thank you.
Kuyana.
Kuyana Chinook.
Adahwa Kuyana Chinook.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Kuyana Duk. No need for thanks.
Kuyanedok.
Kuyaneduk.
Kuyanedok. Very good. And what is that one?
No need for thanks.
Excellent job. Okay, well done. Thank you for that,
That's what I have for
Jazz.
Lutic phrases.
Yep, excellent job. Okay, Miss Lydia. Oh, you have the weather forecast, and we will get to that one after we do our Lutic section. Titus, what are you talking about today in a Lutic?
I have the environment in Alutiiq.
Okay, got the slides pulled up for you.
Majak.
Majak.
Majak is the sun.
Very good.
Ihaluk is the moon.
Very good. Nice. Ihalak.
Inyangak.
Ingik.
Inik is a mountain.
Very good. Ingik.
Kiwik is river.
Quick.
Quick is river. Nonwuk is a lake.
Nwak. Very good.
Nonwanak
Very good.
is a lagoon.
Very good. Nanwahnak. Excellent.
Guduk is a beach.
Gouda.
And Konyak.
Oh yeah. Kongiyak. Kongiyak.
Is a bay.
Very good. Excellent job. Okay. Thank you for that. Some environmental words in Alutiiq. Great job, Titus. Okay, Miss Aurora. How are you doing, Aurora? How are you doing? Are you enjoying your first live stream? All right. What are you talking about today, Aurora? On what's your Alutiiq words?
Animals in Alutiiq.
Okay, let me pull that up for you. Okay, animals in Alutiiq.
Ugutik.
Excellent. Ukudik.
Mishkirak.
Very good. Mishkirak. What's Mishkirak?
Spider.
Very good.
Kunik. Kunik.
What's
Horse.
kunik? Very good. A horse. Yep.
Paranak. Paranak.
Paranak.
Sheep.
Sheep. Very cool.
Kunayak.
Kunachyak. Kanachyak. Kanachyak.
Kanahyak.
Very good.
Little brown bat.
Right. Kanachyak. A lot of bats around this island. Oh, this one's a tough one.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Ook.
Ooks.
Shulak.
Ushushla.
Very good. Excellent job on that double L. Ukshulhak. Ukshulhak. What's ukshulhak?
Black crab.
capped. Mm-hmm.
black cap.
Chickadee. Remember those little tiny birds?
Yeah.
Little chickadees. Very good. Okay.
Aguyak.
Very good. Aguyak. Ooh, sorry. Go to the next one.
Kashkanyak.
Very good. Kashkanak. Mm-hmm.
Kuyai.
Oh, yeah. This one's kind of a weird one, too. It's Kohyak.
Kohyak.
Very good. Kohyak. What's Kohyak?
Fox.
Very good. All right. Excellent job. Thank you for that, Aurora. Good job on your animals in Lutic. Let me switch. I need to get me off of here for you guys. Okay. All right. Sean, how's it going? Sean, what are you talking about today in Lutic?
I have weather in Alutic.
Okay, let me bring that up for you. Okay, go for it.
Chestun la eta.
Excellent. Excellent. What's that mean?
Chestun la eta agnakpak is how's the weather?
How was the Chestundla Etta? How was the weather? And this is another way we can say it too. Go ahead.
Oh,
Caillou
Caillou la bet.
Slachbet. Yep.
Lachbek
Etta.
eta.
Very good. That one's kind of a hard one, like a tongue twister, but you're doing great. Caillou Slachbet Etta. Very good.
How is our weather?
Right. So another way to ask how the weather is. Another one of those double L's that shuch.
Shashluchtwa.
Very good. Shuchtwa. Excellent.
I'm checking out the weather.
Right. That's a different way to say how's the weather. I'm going to check out the weather. Very good. Shuchtwa.
Majangak.
Majanga Kadahwa.
It is sunny.
Very good.
Kilingduk.
Kilachtuk.
Kilingduk.
Very good.
It is cloudy, or there are lots of clouds.
Very good. Kilachtuk. Ooh, this one's a tough one.
Majung Naguk.
Very good. Majangung Naguk. Very good. Majangung Naguk. What's that mean?
It's trying to get sunny.
Very good. That one's that double L again.
Slachnachtuk.
Very good. Slachnachtuk. Excellent. What's that one mean?
It is messy.
So that one could use a lot for this winter, huh? Because it was awfully messy most of the winter. So slachnachtuk adachwa. Another one we could use. This one's a funny one.
Imashun Naduk.
Very good. Imashuch nachtuk adahwa. Imashuch nachtuk.
It is depressing.
Yeah. Sometimes the weather's depressing around here, right? Imashuch nachtuk. Good job. That's okay. Kayung Luni.
Kayung.
Very good.
Gusty, wind blows hard.
Right. Excellent job, Sean. All right.
Kidinguk.
Kidenguk. Adahwa.
It is raining.
It is raining. Excellent.
Pinakduk.
Pinachtuk.
It is nice and calm.
Nice. Couple more.
Taluma.
Very good. Talumauk. It
It
is
is overcast.
very good. Very good. I think last one, huh? Do you have one more?
No.
Oh, okay. So I took that one off. Okay, so it's just Kaningok. Kaningok. It is snowing. But excellent job on that, Sean. Thank you for bringing us some weather in Alutic. We appreciate it. Okay, Miss Dahlia, what are you talking about today?
I'm going to be doing the Olympic word of the week.
Oh, okay. Let me bring that up for you.
It is spring, so you would say that uhanka.
Uhnachkak. Uh-huh. Very good. Uhnachkak. Let's try and use that in a sentence. Uhnachkak.
Is that the one on my paper?
Yeah, go ahead.
Unakachuk awai.
Adahwa. Uhnachkak duk awai. Uhnachkak duk awai. What's that mean?
Spring is here.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Spring is here. Uhnachkak duk awai. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it in April on Kodiak, but it is definitely springtime. So, uhnachkach duk awai. Excellent job. Okay, you guys did a great job on the Alutic section. Now we will go on to our current events, and we're going to start with some fun facts, I believe, right, Jess?
That's right. We thought it would be cool to do some Montana fun facts because that's where our guest was from
Very good.
or lived.
For sure. For sure. Go for it, Jess.
So the name Montana has Spanish origin. The earliest Spanish settlers named the state Montana, and it means mountain in Spanish.
Right. Actually, how they pronounced it
Yeah,
was
it's Montana.
Montana.
Montana. Okay.
That's what that little squiggly line over the end does, is give you that nya, Montana, which is interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Montana. Very
Montana is the only state that is exactly one time zone wide.
cool. That's pretty cool too. They don't have to worry about different time zones. That's pretty cool.
Montana has two important revenue generating industries. They are mining and agriculture.
Very cool. Very cool.
Montana has huge deposits of natural and mineral resources. Some of these resources are zinc, copper, silver, lead, oil, manganese, gold, timber, and zinc again. Because
Cool.
there's a bunch of zinc in Montana.
Okay. Awesome.
Lastly, Montana has a large population of Native Americans. This state has at least 8 federally recognized Native American tribes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, and not to knock on Montana too much, folks, but it trails like behind Alaska in a few of the major categories where we still give them props and everything. But just the funny note there. I know Ken will get a kick out of that one. Okay, excellent job. Thank you, Jess, for the Montana fun facts. Okay, Miss Lydia, what are you talking about here?
I'm going to be talking about the weather forecast.
Okay, let me bring that up for you. Okay. All right, go ahead, Lydia.
Okay.
And I'll bring up the satellite image too so the folks at home can see.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Today, south wind is 25 kilometer
Knots. Yep,
knots.
very good.
Seas 5 feet. Today,
Mhm.
Tonight, west wind 25 knots. Seas 6 feet.
Excellent.
Friday, west wind 25 knots. Seas 6 feet. Friday night, west wind 15 carats.
Knots.
Knots.
You're doing good.
Seas 3 feet.
Very good.
Saturday through Sunday. South wind 10 knots, seas 3 feet. Monday,
North.
North wind, 10 knots, seas 3 feet.
Very good. Okay, that was for Shelikoff, or excuse me, Marmot. What do we have for Shelikoff?
Today, south wind, 25 knots, seas 5 feet. Tonight will be in south wind, southwest wind, 30 knots, seas 8 feet.
Nice.
Friday, west wind, 30 knots, seas 7 feet. Friday night, west wind, 20 knots, seas 4 feet. Saturday, southwest wind,
Very good.
15 knots, seas 3 feet. And then on Sunday, variable wind, 10 knots, seas 3 feet. And on Monday, variable wind, 10 knots, seas 2 feet.
Excellent job. And while you were reading that, I played the windy forecast too, so that shows folks our forecast for the week. So it looks like, if you guys can remember, westerly winds usually bring us some good weather. So it looks like tonight, Friday, and at least Friday night, we should have some decent weather. So looking forward to that. All right. Thank you, Miss Lydia. All right, Titus, what are you talking about here? Let me turn off screen share and get back to our studio.
I'm talking about safety, but specifically volcano safety.
Ooh, this is a good one.
What's a volcano called?
What's that?
What's the volcano called?
Mount Spur.
Yeah, Mount Spur is probably going to blow. So be prepared for mudslides, flash floods, earthquakes, ash falling, acid rain, and tsunamis. Keep supplies like first aid kit, food, water, radio, flashlights, dust masks, and goggles.
Very good.
And if indoors, close all windows and doors. Bring animals inside. Wear long sleeve shirts and pants. Use goggles and dust masks. Be aware of mud flows if near a stream.
Very good.
Cover your mouth and nose. Volcanic ash can irritate your respiratory system.
Very good.
Clear roofs of ash. It is very heavy and can cause buildings to collapse.
That's a good one. I want to jump in here with you guys and talk about that one a little bit. Ash is obviously very heavy, and if you let it pile up and get really thick on roofs, it can collapse roofs and buildings if it's in a large enough amount. And so, we don't obviously, there's no way to know if this Mount Spur will erupt, but it's definitely possible, and it may just be a matter of time, of when, right? And so all of these safety items that Titus talked about are important. Another one is obviously that he mentioned using dust masks and stuff, but also if you have like machinery like your car or something like that, a lot of people will put a cover over their car's intake because of the air intake, because it can suck up ash and it can really damage your engine. So another something to be aware of and mindful of. So great job on that safety briefing, Titus. We appreciate it, that safety bulletin. Okay, Miss Aurora, you are up next. What are you talking about?
Current school events.
Ooh, cool.
So in the upper class, there's going to be a college trip that's going on April 1st to the 25th.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then there's a swim trip on April 27th through May 2nd.
Very cool.
Prom is on May 7th. And then the graduation is on May 21st.
Okay, cool, very good. And did the Air Force recruiters come in today? No, no recruiters talk
No,
to you.
they didn't come in there.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Aurora, for those current school events. We appreciate it. So, yeah, we have the college trip coming up on the 21st, and then swim trip on the 28th, and then prom, and then graduation later on in May. Excellent. Okay, Sean, what are you talking about?
I have this day in history on April 17th.
Okay.
In 1492, Christopher Columbus signed a contract with the Spanish monarchs to find the Indies with the stated goal of converting people to
Catholicism.
Whatever.
Sure. Catholicism. Yep.
This promises him 10% of all riches found and the governorship of any lands encountered.
Very good. So yeah, Columbus was setting himself up to make a lot of money there.
As a major Ally offensive mastermind, Robert Nivelle was failing miserably on the Western Front. British forces in Palestine make their second attempt to capture the city of Gaza from the Ottoman army on April 17th in 1917.
Very good, very good. So yeah, this was the Allied offensive, and we're talking about Palestine, which the Kingdom of Great Britain named it that when they were sort of in charge of that region. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Empire of the United Kingdom stretched to many different places around the globe, from Africa to the Middle East to Asia. Even Hong Kong was a protectorate of the United Kingdom for a while. So very interesting fact. Cool fun fact. Thanks, Sean.
The Ford Mustang officially unveiled by Henry Ford II at the World's Fair in Flushing Meadows, New York, on April 17, 1964. That same day, the new car also dotted the Ford showrooms across America, and almost 22,000 Mustangs were immediately snapped up by buyers. Named for a World War II fighter plane, the Mustang was one of the first vehicles that came to be known as a pony car. Ford sold more than 400,000 Mustangs within the first year of production, for exceeding sales expectations.
Excellent. Yeah. So that was a very popular and a cool fun fact, Sean. A very popular car, and it's the first one that they called pony car. And a pony car was essentially, it was a compact, it was sporty, it was fast, it had an aggressive design, and so they started calling them pony cars. All right, what's your next one?
With the world anxiously watching Apollo 13, a U.S. lunar spacecraft that suffered a severe malfunction on its journey to the moon safely returns on April 17, 1970.
Very good, very good. That's another excellent fun fact. And if you guys don't know the details of the story of Apollo 13, check it out. And they even made a movie with it with Tom Hanks. But it is an incredible story. These guys had so many problems that they had to deal with just to get back home. Everything from not having enough oxygen to that oxygen being polluted with CO2, to not having any heat in their spacecraft, to losing battery power, to having so little power that they didn't know how their parachutes were going to deploy when they came back through the atmosphere. So it is an incredible story, a really interesting one to look into. It's it's an incredible story. So check that out, folks at home, when you get a chance as well. Apollo 13 rescue mission. There's several documentaries and movies on it. So excellent job on that. Thank you, Sean, for those fun facts. All right. Last but not least, definitely Miss Dahlia.
I have current events.
Will you help her, Sean, with the mic? Try and get it as close as you can. Awesome. Very good.
I have current events. The first one is the community cleanup on Earth Day, the 22nd of April. Meet at City Hall at 9:30 a.m. The second one is Water Project, ANTHC in Village. There's activity at the Quarry.
Very good.
Yeah, this week. This Friday, the tribe in KOS will be closed in observance of Good Friday. Easter party and egg hunt at the tribe, 5 to 7 p.m. And Easter Sunday is on April 20th.
Very good. So we have Easter weekend coming up, and we look forward to celebrating that with all of our community members. And okay, let's see if we missed anything. Is there anything? Oh, wait, Miss Lydia. We had the the senior meals. Go ahead.
On 17th, we have chicken stir fry, rice, veggies, rolls, and soup. On Tuesday, the 22nd,
Congregate, yeah.
congregate meal, 4 p.m. tuna noodle casserole. On Wednesday, pulled pork sandwiches, coleslaw, veggies, and rolls. On Thursday, pot roast, potatoes, veggies, rolls, and soup.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. So that actually, there's a lot of good stuff on there that sounds pretty yummy. It's kind of making me hungry, actually. But no, thank you for that, Miss Lydia. Excellent job. Okay. Does anybody have anything else they want to add? We went for a whole over an hour today, so you guys did great. Anybody else have anything? Okay. All right. To you folks at home, we want to thank you for taking the time to spend a little bit of time with us. We hope we added some value to your day, and we will see you on another episode of King's Corner. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Tunk Chigumkin Chali. Tunk Chigumkin. And we are